Are you looking to play your wildcard in Game Week 6? This video has got you covered. Alright then, we're going to quickly start by looking at the two goalkeepers I've gone for in Rob Sanchez and Areola of West Ham. Sanchez, I think for me, is the pick of the 4.5 million goalkeepers. You could have Pickford, one of the Brighton keepers, Flecken, you could have Johnston. All of these guys, I think, have doubts surrounding them. Pickford, obviously, Everton playing poorly, him conceding goals. Flecken doesn't look, to be honest, to be the best goalkeeper, and I think could be responsible for Brentford conceding goals. Palace, there's rotation risk between Johnston and Henderson. Same with the Brighton goalkeepers. Sanchez looks to be pretty nailed in the Chelsea starting 11. Chelsea obviously off the back of a clean sheet against Bournemouth. I don't think they look too bad defensively. It's just going forward where they struggle. So I don't mind Sanchez as the goalkeeper pick. Areola, his fixtures basically complement Sanchez's nicely. You can see Sanchez's fixtures here and Areola's fixtures here. They complement each other nicely. When Sanchez has a difficult game, Areola has an easier game and vice versa. So the two rotate really well, and I'd have no issue starting Areola when Sanchez has a tough fixture. Defenders up next then. First up is Estupinian. I think he's probably the best defender across FPL, even though Brighton have not kept a clean sheet so far this season. He's been absolutely fantastic. Bombing forward on that left-hand side, getting amongst the goals and the assists. I expect that to continue, and of course him to be starting in Game Week 6. Bournemouth and Aston Villa the next couple of fixtures. Liverpool in Game Week 8, obviously a tough fixture on paper, but I've got someone on the bench that can cover. Botman and Share, I've gone for a Newcastle double up in defence. Newcastle having a fantastic run of fixtures coming up, and of course being the best defence in the league last season for goals conceded, and the second best defence for expected goals conceded. I don't expect much rotation amongst the centre-backs. I think Botman and Share are capable of playing both the Premier League and Champions League games, so we were all a little bit worried as to how Newcastle will rotate in the Premier League and Champions League. I imagine the fullbacks may well rotate quite a lot, to be honest. Trippier being the one that's probably going to play the most, but the left-back position, I mean, you can't count on anyone to play regularly. But of course, Livramento could take Trippier's place, or at least come on for Trippier some of the Premier League games. So I'd suggest Botman and Share at their price points, much cheaper than Trippier, of course, are the best two to go for from Newcastle. I've got a midfield then of Saka, Salah, Diaby and Bumo Maddison. Salah has been playing fantastically in the Premier League so far. 12.5 million, of course, is a lot of money for someone that you might not be making your captain. I don't think, to be honest, in the next few weeks, I will be doing that with Salah in this wildcard team. However, the consistency of returns that he's managed in the league so far this season just warrants a place in this team. And of course, you can pick a number of cheap players that are perfectly good picks in FPL to allow you to go for Salah. Saka, I think, is far too cheap, even at 8.6 million. He's just on the penalties, a 90-minute man pretty much for Arsenal. He's guaranteed to start every game. I think their best attacking player. He's a fantastic option, and I don't really think it matters on the opposition. Like, you could foresee him scoring easily against Tottenham, Bournemouth, even the Man City game, to be honest. I'd expect him to score in. Diaby, I think, is the pick now of the... Well, he's not even 6.5 million now, is he? He's gone up to 6.6, but I think he's one of the top players at that price point. Aston Villa have a fantastic fixture run starting in Game Week 8 as well, so I'm suggesting you hop on him early if you're wildcarding now. Chelsea and Brighton on a surface level were tough games, but the guy's playing up front alongside Ollie Watkins and has looked dangerous against every opposition. Looking back, of course, to when they played Newcastle, he completely ripped apart their defence with his pace and ability running in behind, and he could well do the same against Chelsea and Brighton. And Bumo, my favourite midfielder in FPL so far this season on penalties, guaranteed to start every game, looking really good from open play, filling in for Tony extremely well. Great fixture run, a fantastic option. And then James Maddison, I know he's got Arsenal and Liverpool coming up, but I don't rule out him getting an attacking return in both of those games. Arsenal and Liverpool not looking massively convincing defensively. I know Arsenal are off the back of a clean sheet against Everton, but I mean, that's Everton. I think Tottenham are a very different prospect, and he's at the centre of everything that Tottenham do going forward. So if Tottenham score, you'd expect Maddison to be involved. Up front then, I've gone for Haaland, who I think is just a captaincy pick pretty much every game week, and you need to have him in FPL. And then Taiwo Awoniyi, His form is ridiculous. I'm pretty sure he's got a return in each of his last 10 Premier League fixtures. So, yeah, fantastic option. And I think, you know, I wouldn't suggest starting him at the start of the season, you know, because obviously he was off the back of a really good run of form last season, but it was only a small sample of data. But he's been so good at the start of this season as well. We've now basically got half a season's worth of data, dating all the way back to last season, and he's been performing really well. So, yeah, I think he's a great option and one of the safer picks at this price point in FPL. Here's the team as a whole then. We've gone through the starting 11 and Areola, Udogie, Kabore and Archer make up my bench. Udogie basically fills in for Estupinian in game week 8. Kabore could come in if you fancy him in game week 7 for the double game week that Luton have. You could, of course, have Anderson as well, who I suggest is slightly better for starts, maybe slightly worse for attacking returns though. Everton, Burnley is the double game week for Luton. I mean, they could well keep one clean sheet in that run, I would suggest. Archer, the 4.5 million forward, who I think is the standout. Probably now takes the penalties for Sheffield United as well. Looks really quite dangerous for them. And of course was their club record signing, so I'd expect him to play every game. He's not going to pull up trees by any stretch of the imagination, but a 4.5 million striker that starts pretty much every game is a great option to go for. Alright, and that's the end of the video. If you enjoyed it, please let me know by leaving a like rating. Also, let me know what you think of that wildcard draft as a whole. If you take any players out, bring any in, let me know in the comments below. And of course, if you haven't already, please subscribe to the Golden Goal channel for plenty more FPL content. And I'll catch you in my next video.